Good morning, good day, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 16th live stream, solo live stream that is, of your boy, DrTorment. I feel cringe saying that just now. God damn. How have you all been? It's been a minute since I've did one of these. Oh, echo? Oh, I see. That should not be there. Well, that is whack. Is there still an echo going on? Amazing start so far. Yeah, don't have an echo. Okay, so Cindy does not have an echo. See, that's the thing. I immediately read something that's maybe wrong and I'm locking the hell in. I do wonder. Let me have a look here. Might that be a setting that I have on? It should not be. Oh well. Yeah, there you go. It was Isabel all along. Knew it. Ah, it's always Isabel. Shame on you letting me in such doubt and despair. Wow, Isabel, how dare you? How dare you? Just for that, I need to calm my nerves a little bit. So I'm just going to have some child-friendly fermented grape juice. You hear me, YouTube? It's child-friendly. It's just grape juice. Don't you worry, YouTube. There we are. All set. So, how has everybody been? Do tell. See, I already saw Cindy in the chat and Isabel, who has been trolling me. Hello, hello. Lord of Nightmares, also welcome, welcome. How have you been, man? For the uninitiated, the Lord of Nightmares is a Dutch narrator, so if you do love horror stories told to you in Dutch, by all means, do give his channel a try. That's so amazing. I think the one story that got me hooked on his channel was... I want to say the Red Room or the Red Door, one of the two. It had something with red in it. Also think I addressed this like the last stream, but my short-term memory is playing bits a bit. Also, oh. Phone, you should be quiet. Don't shush. Shush you. My mistake. I was in an Asian market today. Lots of noises, so I had to turn the noise of the phone up, otherwise I didn't know I got any notifications. Lord of Nightmares, I don't know if you're familiar, but it was the Asian market in Maastricht. Oh! Oh my, you've been working on a horror game. One that you are developing yourself, or? Piqued my interest. Also, hello, Suburban Siren, how you doing? So as with any of my streams, this'll basically just be a bit of a hangout, bit of a hello, how you do, bit of a Q&A if possible, and of course some live readings if the mood fancies us, of course. And of course, any suggestions for reading are welcome. Because I do have a few creepypastas open here, but they are rather short. They're mostly meant for real narrations, not for full video or story narrations. Like, they're really short. Nah, let's not read one. Let's not read those. I could read 20 of those in one go. Let's not. There's no challenge in that. Yes, hear my keyboard. It suffers more than Lady Spookaria. Haha. Mention. A pixel 2D game. Oh! Really? Wait, is it like Corpse Party or The Witch's House, if you're familiar with those? Oh god, I'm old. Those are old games. Let's see here. I was looking for something, wasn't I? Yes, I was. Oh, this is a weird one, I think. I think I have the first story ready, but that's for later. Yeah, in the same engine. Okay, now I'm really looking forward to this one. Do you have a name and a story all set up? I mean, I bet you do. Right, they are such good games though, especially for horror and anime fans. I think the first time I was introduced to Corpse Party was via a playthrough by... was it PewDiePie? Probably PewDiePie. Then I tried it for myself and oh, I did not know there were so many endings to it. Oh, I was oblivious. Young DrTorment, not knowing what the hell he was doing. All the bad endings. Oh, I had to mute myself there. I was sneezing. And if anyone is in a VC with me, trust me, if you were in a VC with me, I sneeze loud. I've been told I have a dad sneeze, despite not being a dad. Well, me too, I love PewDiePie in the day, but it got a few... It really? Corpse Party got a few remakes. I have to look into that. Really? I have to look into that one. Oh. Oh, that's a good grape juice. Oh. Casillero del Diablo. That's a good grape juice right there. It got like 3 remakes. Really? 3 remakes? That sounds a little excess, doesn't it? Well, I suppose so long as they're not bad, so long as they're still good and honor the actual source material, by all means. Wait, I did start a Q&A, didn't I? Yeah. I should have. Yes, there it is. Ooh. Yeah. Family-friendly grape juice. Indeed, Isabel. Indeed. Hang on a tick. Little Tommy, what are you doing on the screen? Go away. You shouldn't be there. Hey. Little bugger, really. Let's see. Suburban Siren. Honestly, I've seen loud enough. Oh, I sneeze. Okay. Honestly, I sneeze loud enough. It startles my sister all the time. Better than my dad's rapid fire sneezing. Rapid fire sneezing. What exactly am I supposed to think about that? What, he goes like a mitraillette? Like a machine gun sneeze? Machine gun sneeze. Or there's a story to be written there. Writers, pick up on that. Cindy says, I have some peach schnapps I'm gonna have. By all means, have some. By all means, the more the merrier. Usually I have the strongest spirits with me, but today I'm gonna go a little soft. Machine gun, like it's 3 in rapid succession. Well, damn. Does he at least hit anyone with it? Like, make it a bit exciting? Shoot someone from the window like that? Sneeze shot. Actually, come think of it, that sounds rather disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, that sounds rather disgusting. Ugh. Rapid fire sneezing blows your mind. There has to be a story in there somewhere. Right, Isabel? There has to be. He has probably hit his head at least once, says Siren. Really? I mean, if you're gonna rapid fire sneeze like a machine gun, I can only imagine you will, yeah. It's just having that image in my head now. That's funny. Are we in now? Let's say in about a minute or two else. I'll do a little reading of a creepypasta I just found. Isabel, I'm ducking sorry. Ah, right. Ducking. YouTube's lovely censorships. Well, I do have a few words to say about that. I don't think I'll be wasting my time on it. That should be a little better, sound-wise. There we go. I just realized the volume of the microphone was a little lower than it should be. It should be fixed now. There we are. No duck like from the sneak. Oh. Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. It's a pun. Alright, no, never mind then. Sees how well I am with jokes and puns myself. Oh. Devil's grape juice, you strike once again. Alrighty, let's see, where did I put my... Where's that? There we go. And that is called the Torment. And who exactly wrote that? If I may ask. Is that an author? Is it one of those author unknown situation? Ah, it is an author unknown situation. Alright then. Author unknown. By all means, if anyone knows the author, as always, do let me know. Proper credit is proper credit after all. For our first reading, a little creepypasta I found just now called The Drowned Smiley, written by author unknown. First off, check the chat again. Isabel, I would never be foul on your channel, Doc. I am a very well-behaved girl. See, in my experience, anyone that has to say such things out loud, they clearly are not. Like, the example I'm going to pull from is Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones. Any man who says I am the king is no true king. So if you have to say out loud that you're a well-behaved girl, I doubt that. But first off, let's get to the reading, shall we? The Drowned Smiley by author unknown. I don't really know how to start this, so I'm just gonna say it. If you ever see a guy standing near the ocean who looks like he's smiling too hard, just leave. Don't take pictures, don't wave, don't be like me and think, oh, that's just some dude being weird. Because it isn't. They call it the Drowned Smiley. I didn't name it, I swear. That's just what everyone online started calling it after it showed up. It used to be a person, at least I think it was. He drowned out at sea a while ago. Nobody really knows the exact date because people who go missing in the water don't come back with calendars. The story is he fell off a boat, or maybe he jumped, or maybe the ocean just decided it was his turn, depends who you ask. But a few weeks later, something came back. Same shape as a man, same height, same posture, same everything. Except, it was wrong in ways I can't really explain without sounding insane. Its hair was bright orange, like neon, like someone took a highlighter and just gave up halfway through being subtle. Its body was deep ocean blue, but not like skin, more like paint that never dried. Its face, God. Its face was split between purple and blue tones like the sea couldn't decide what mood it wanted him to have. And he was always smiling. Not happy smiling, not friendly guy at a party smiling. More like someone stapled his face into that position and threw away the instructions. People first saw him near the docks, standing ankle deep in the water like he was waiting for a bus that only runs when the tide feels like it. One guy said he tried talking to him. He said the smiley didn't respond, just tilted his head slowly like it was buffering, and smiled wider. Another guy threw a rock at him. It went straight through his chest like he was made of wet air. That's when things got worse. Because he didn't leave. He started showing up further inland. No, not running, not walking, just there. Standing in places he shouldn't be able to reach unless the ocean was personally carrying him around like luggage. People started saying the water followed him, like puddles would appear where he stood, like sinks would turn on by themselves when he passed. And always that face, purple blue, orange hair, that stupid smile, always the smile. My first real encounter with him was behind a gas station at 2:13 a.m. I remember the time because my phone died right away when I saw him, like it didn't want to be involved anymore. He was just standing there next to the dumpster, smiling at me like I was late to something. I asked him what he wanted. Stupid question. He opened his mouth. No sound came out, but I swear to God I understood it anyway. It felt like, you already belong on the water. I ran. I don't know how long I ran for. Could have been seconds, could have been hours. Time doesn't really behave properly like that. But there's the part I hate admitting. He didn't chase me. He just watched me go, smiling. After that, I started noticing water everywhere, in places it shouldn't be. My bathroom sink would drip even when it was off. My shoes were always damp even when I left them near a heater. And sometimes, late at night, I'd hear something knocking softly on my windows. 3 taps, pause, 3 taps. Like something learning rhythm. I stopped answering it after the 3rd night. That was probably smart, because on the 4th night, the window wasn't closed anymore, and the drowned Smiley was standing inside my room. He didn't break in, he didn't climb, he was just there. Like the ocean had briefly decided my bedroom was also part of its territory. And he was still smiling. Worse than before. Wider. Too wide. Like the face was trying to become a Kraken reality. He pointed at me, and I swear I felt water in my lungs even though I wasn't near any water. That's when I understood the worst part. He wasn't haunting the ocean. The ocean was just where he learned how to exist. And now, he didn't need it anymore. Last thing I remember is him leaning closer, still smiling, always smiling. Like drowning wasn't something that happened to him. Like it was something he finally finished becoming. If you're reading this and you think it's fake, that's fine. I would have thought the same. But check your sink. Check your bathroom. Check the places water shouldn't be. And if you see someone with orange hair and a blue body standing there, don't look at his face too long. He likes it. And there we go, The Drowned Smiley by author unknown. It's a bit weirdly written. It's one of those creepypastas that's basically a sentence, then skip, sentence, skip, sentence. Like, it's not a real paragraph that I'm reading. It's a little weird, but hey, it's a good enough story, I think. I might make a video out of this one, but that'll depend entirely on my time, because I have enough on my schedule as it is right now. I have 2 Reddit stories, 1 request story that really should be done by now, but it isn't. There's an Edgar Allan Poe story I'm currently working on. Oops, spoilers, you'll just have to wait for that one. And then, of course, is Dracula Part 4, which I really want done at least before the year ends. At this rate, having 2 Dracula episodes a year, yeah, but again, I'm a 1-person team, so really, just bear with me here on that front. So yeah, before I do any other creepypastas, I still need to do those 2 Reddit stories. The 1 request that I got via email, Edgar Allan Poe, that I'm currently working on. That should be finished now, right? It's just sound and images with that one. So those 4, and then I can do other stories and also work on Chapter 4 of Dracula. Should be fine. It should be Vox's last big narration on the subject in the video, I think, because the first 4 chapters of Dracula are basically Jonathan Harker recounting his events at the castle, right? So that should be the last one for him. Isabel, you can never go wrong with Poe. You are correct. Poe is something that is near and dear to me on the channel, because I think it was 2 years ago when I decided to do all of his, well, most of his poetics, most of his poetic work on the channel. Like, I did it twice a week, I think, back then. Like, it was a little marathon I did on that December of that year. That was fun. I actually had fun with it. Still getting views a day for it, so I want to say that there is a certain fan base for it, I suppose. Rule number 1 in creation, don't like yourself or your work too much. Oh, that's a good one. Now, I'm not going to tell you which story of Edgar Allan Poe it is yet, I think I already teased that in the last stream, but I could be wrong. Again, short-term memory. It's a bosh. Yes, I have to make up words there. Let's see here. I'm going to look for a new one. Oh. New tab, please, because I also need to put this story in the description later. Ooh. Are you a long one? Can't be too long. No, no, no. Can't be too long, of course. Oh, that's a long one. Ooh, that is a very long one. Usually that's good for content, but not for the live streams. Live streams, I need to keep it a little bit concise, you know? Because I only have I'm only on for so long, so I can't really, like, do this all night. To clarify, it's about 11 PM as of now where I'm at. And as a rule, I also don't like reading anything that has too long of a title. Like, I don't know, call me a snob, but I think if you're gonna write a story, we don't need to read a sentence where the title should be. Like, yeah, sure, 4, maybe 5 words at the max, but please, not an entire sentence. I'll never understand how that actually got the fad, basically, for it. I never understand it. Oh, that has a not safe for work warning. We'll not be reading that one. Wait, it has really a poetry category? Since when is that here? Obviously the Raven is in it. Who defunct the Raven? Oh. Oh, it's a short one that I actually want to test. It's been I actually know this one. Wow. That is a classic. Let me have a looky-loo. By checking the stream once again. The Witching Hour, very fitting for the stream. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, no, The Witching Hour. Now I'm reading it back. Right, that's almost The Witching Hour indeed, Lord of Nightmares, indeed. Suburb and Siren. Raven is the first work I became familiar with from Poe, so that one is high up on the list for me. You know what? That's also one of the first works of Poe that I was introduced to, but not in the way you think. See, I was introduced to The Raven of Edgar Allan Poe by The Simpsons. I kid you not. The Simpsons is what got me into Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, The Telltale Heart. That's also on my list to read, Lord of Nightmares. That is certainly also on my list to read. Isabel, it's okay, dog. Just drink more juice and the memory won't matter anymore. You are right. You are absolutely right. Tanak, am I pronouncing that? If I'm mispronouncing that, by all means correct me. Tanak says, I hate the creepypasta title trend as of late, i.e. I was attacked by a witch at midnight and now I can see the future. It just feels weird to me. That just doesn't feel weird, it's just... Well, yeah, no, it is weird, don't get me wrong. Absolutely weird, but I just don't get it. You know, I don't need a sentence for you to spoil me your story, right? Hook me in with the title, make it relevant to the story at least. Like that, I was attacked by a witch at midnight and now I can see the future thing. I don't know how you. I personally don't know how you can make a title out of that, but surely something shorter than that. Surely. The title are almost all the same. Yeah, that too, which, you know, here's the thing. On Reddit, at the No Sleep subreddit forum, I don't really take stories from No Sleep or something like that anymore, unless they are classics, i.e. the Smiling Man and all that, you know. Unless they're classic Reddit horror stories, I will not even consider doing them. But nowadays, with No Sleep and all those other subreddits, it's so obviously AI written. Like you yourself said, Lord of Nightmares, they all have these same titles. Can't be a coincidence. You're not gonna tell me that, say, 3,000 people had the same idea about the same title. Don't get me wrong, of course they'll be copying each other off, but most of the time it's just them having AI write a story, put it on No Sleep, and that's the day. Definitely hate those titles, is what I'm getting at. Suburban Siren. Simpsons Treehouse of Horror was great in the early years of the show. Yeah, it really was. It really was. Like, Homer's rendition of the Raven is just so visceral and real. I think most of my own reading of the Raven is partially inspired by that. Like, when he gets to the part of Fiend, you know, when he is getting angry at the Raven about his presence there. That's a little inspired by Homer's rendition of the Raven. I have no qualms admitting that, because it's such a powerful rendition. Anyone who hasn't seen Homer Simpson or the Simpsons episode of the Raven, by all means, have a watch when you have the time. It's amazing. Back when the show was also amazing. Can't say it nowadays. Isabel says there's too much AI creeping in the community, but I don't mind the long titles if the story is written by a real person. Well, not only by a real person, but also if the story is good, you know? Again, I'm just a narrator. If somebody is sending me a story via mail, I'll definitely consider doing it and reading it for the channel, don't get me wrong. But I also have to feel myself in it. I have one story in my emails that, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel it myself, but I'm gonna do it because it's my first ever email, my first ever request via email, right? So I'm still gonna do it at some point. It is mostly finished with the characters. It's just on my end that, not only on my end, there are 2 other characters that still need to be voiced, and the actresses are not available at the moment. Still, it has to be good, right? I have to feel myself having fun with the story itself, which sounds weird, having fun with horror stories, but I do. I need to get in it, basically. If I can't really act in it, then I'm gonna lose interest and it will be in the back burner. It will come out eventually, but it is gonna be in the back burner until I feel good about it. Again, it sounds weird and snobbish perhaps, but no, that's the me. That's just how I am. Lord of Nightmares says, I love young adult horror like Scooby-Doo, Goosebumps, and Courage the Scared Dog. Oh god. Speaking of horrors, hello Lilith. Hi. Yes. Oh. Hello. Welcome to my lap. Are you gonna be quiet on the lap? Please tell me you will be. Or do you want to sit by the... Alright, you can sit by the keyboard, but by all... Do not. Alright, bugger off then, I suppose. Just making room for you, princess. For the uninitiated, that was one of my cats. And she is in a sing-songy mood lately, so you'll probably hear her singing during the stream quite a bit. I had something prepared, didn't I? You... Would you please stop jump-scaring me like that? Woman. Hey. Shush, shush, shush. Tanak says, I will never fault cats in the background. Well, Me neither, but you know, they're sassy and I will be sassy back. It's only fair. Isabel says, there's nothing snobbish about it if you don't feel it and you can't do it justice. Nothing wrong with that, Doc. Yeah, thank you, Isabel. Thank you for that. Yeah, again, if I start talking about it, feels like I'm making excuses for why certain stories are not coming out. But again, if I'm not feeling the vibe, or God, I sound so old saying that. If I'm not feeling the vibe for it, it'll be in the back burner. It'll come out eventually, just not in a speedy manner. Like, I have to basically work myself through it, right? Because then it's more of a chore than it is for fun. But enough about me talking about all that. Let's go to the next narration. Now, this one will be a little short, but it's also one of my favorite little poems. This one is called The Kraken by Lord Tennyson. If I pronounce that name correct, I think it's Tennyson. Anyway, let us begin. Oh, it was published in 1830, for those who want to know. Below the thunders of the up... Alright, hang on. Lilith, please, I need to watch at the screen. Hey. You alright? You're not gonna be sad? You're not gonna hit me again? No? Okie dokie. Below the thunders of the upper deep, far, far beneath in the abysmal sea, his ancient, dreamless, uninvaded sleep, the Kraken sleepeth, faintest sunlights flee. About his shadowy sides, above him swell huge sponges of millennial growth and height, and far away into the sickly light, from many a wondrous grot and secret cell, unnumbered and innumerous polypi, winnow with giant arms the slumbering green, there hath he lain for ages and will lie, batting upon huge sea worms in his sleep, until the latter fire shall heat the deep. Then once by man and angels be seen, in roaring he shall rise, and on the surface die. Ta-da! Like I said, it was going to be a short one. But it's been a while since I did one of those. Also, hello, Psychosis. How have you been, man? You're gonna be lurking in the background too. Ooh. Kitty cat, please. Yes. Yes. I know, but please, I'm trying to have a live stream here. I'm a professional YouTuber. Sweetie. I'm a professional YouTuber. Please don't be adorable now. Alright, fine, you can be adorable, but please, on the lap. Ooh, hey. Nails, nails, nails. There you go. She likes to cling to me whenever I move her. And no, my leg is not a scratching post, would you not? Madam. Mother of demons, please do not. I call her Mother of Demons because she's literally the mother of two hellspawn that also lives here. Usually they come whenever I mention them. Alright, that's a nice change of pace. Let's see here. Suburban Siren says, consider murder mystery series that turns into a small town horror series as the bodies pile up. That sounds familiar. Is that of the show From? It sounds like it is. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, then again, I haven't really watched From. I have only seen clips, but it sounds the same. I think. Very Murder, She Wrote-ish. Oh, let me get rid of that on the screen. There you go. Lilith. I need to watch the screen, sweetie. Can you please not? It is something I was thinking about. Well, give it a... By all means, make a story, Siren. We're certainly waiting. I'm certainly waiting with bated breath. Alright, Lily, you're doing it again with the claws. Could you not? Oh, I insulted her. Alright, so she just buggered off while also hitting the microphone. It's a clear sign that she is in a bad mood now, despite getting the attention she wanted. She'll be back. Give it a few. She'll be back. Oh, here's a somewhat... length... No, wait, is it? Oh, that's also long. Oh, that is very long. Maybe something else then. I do like doing these live readings. It's like, it's a good bit of practice for me as well. Alright, this one is a little bit on the shorter side. And who wrote this? Well, shorter side is a good, I think, 10 minutes or so, but we have the time. At least I have. Okie dokie. And who is the... So I'm not entirely sure if anybody can hear that, but there's like loud music playing on my end, outside my apartment, that is. Should not be picked up by the microphone, but I can still hear through my noise cancelling phone. So, you know, it's a bit of an ask what is happening over there. Stupid people having fun on the weekends. How dare they? Alright, our next reading shall be Flies of Duke by author unknown. And I'm gonna read this in a minute. Just give me a second here. Just gonna reread the chat again. Oh, things have happened. She is sassy, I like her. I figured you would. Siren says, I really need to get back into writing. Yeah, you should be getting back into writing. Why are you not? Lord of Nightmare says, we can't hear it. No, good. Alright, good. So the microphone settings are just fine then. Good, good. Foolish mortals, says Isabel. Indeed, foolish, foolish mortals. How dare they have fun in my domain? I'll yell at them later, though. Just go outside of my rolled up gazette. Like an angry old man that I am. Just go like, you stupid kids! Really? That's what got you? What? Really? So that's the cat. I don't know why, but somehow my old man voice kinda tripped her the hell out. Lily. Lily. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I've no idea. She just, as soon as I did the old man voice, she just looked at me, stumped, and then ran out of the room and is now singing the song of her people. I am so confused. This cat, man, I'll never understand her. I have her for 6 years. I'll never understand her. You or your babies? Oh, that got you to shut up, really? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Without further ado, Flies of Duke by Author Unknown. Wait, hang on, what was that on the chat? It's her world, you just live in it. I mean, kind of my world. I pay for her food and her roof and everything, but hey, sure, it's all about Lilith, I suppose. No, I kid, of course. I'm just living in her domain. But as I said, Flies of Duke by Author Unknown. Wait, this is a different one. Oh, there we are. I woke up at 3 in the morning to the noise of someone breaking ground outside. I hoisted myself up and fumbled for my glasses, pulling back the curtain to stare into the backyard from my second-story view. One fence over, I spotted my neighbor Duke, an older man who should be enjoying his retirement, but instead was busying himself digging up his own lawn. He just got back from his latest trip, hadn't he? Was his mind finally going? He had gotten far, too. He was up to his waist, piles of loose soil surrounding him. I pulled... Hello? Oh God, the daughter. Oh God. Mother and daughter, ladies and gentlemen. He'd gotten far too. He was up to his waist, piles of loose soil surrounding him. I pulled up the window, jostling my cat Jester out of a spot so I could poke my head out. "Hey, Duke," I called. "Why are you digging in the dead of night?" He paused, his movements rigid. "Hey," he said, not turning to face me. "Gotta dig up this pipe. Water's out. Dig it up so town can fix it." "Duke, you don't have to do that," I said. "They'll do it for you. I'll even do it if you want, in the morning." "I'm up for the day," he said. "Gotta dig up this pipe. Town will take forever doing it." "Duke, give it a rest," I said. "If you need to use the bathroom or something, just come on over. You're always welcome." He paused, still looking down in the hole. "Okay," he said. "I've done enough digging." With that, he dropped his shovel and went back inside. I expected him to come over, but he did no such thing. Eventually, I just went back to bed for a few hours, planning to make several calls to his next of kin. Duke was a nice man, but he was getting up there in the years. Morning came before I knew it, leaving me at the kitchen table wondering how much more I should have done last night. Jester had gone out the back door to patrol the garden as I called Duke's remaining relatives, explaining what I had seen. I managed to contact his daughter and her family, who stepped up their plans to visit him and make sure he was okay. The hell was that noise? Weird. I looked out the kitchen window, spotting his work from last night, or at least what remained. He'd apparently gone back out there again and filled in the hole. How had he managed all that work? He wasn't frail, but his prime was far behind him. If he was endangering himself like this, he needed someone with him full time. He'd lent me a spare key as I had it for precisely this situation. That's a typo on the author's end. I went out into the backyard and jumped the fence, spotting lots of dirt still littering the ground around his workstation, the shovel lying abandoned on top of the spot. I moved to his back porch and let myself in. "Hey, Duke," I called out. "Just me. Wanted to check on you." Silence. I went through the house from basement to attic and found nothing. His car was still present in the garage. The shoes he kept at the door for walks were lying in their cubby. Nothing out of place. He hated taking taxis, and I don't even think he knew what an Uber was. I called in a silver alert and waited while the cops and his family showed up. His daughter was a nice woman. Her husband was presumably decent, but I'm not sure if I'd ever heard him say one thing to me. Her 3 kids took to the backyard with their Jack Russell, and I hoped Jester was no longer maintaining his vigil so he wouldn't confront the dog. As a cat owner, yes, they do that. I shared everything I knew to the collected cop, the stony husband, and the distraught daughter before taking my leave. They thanked me for their time and said they'd be in town for a few days until he was found, whatever state he ended up being in. That afternoon found me at the table again, glancing out the window as the kids played in the piles of dirt, the Jack Russell barking as they fumbled around it. Jester sauntered into the room and leapt up next to me, something orange and black between his fangs. "What is it, cat?" I asked him as if he understood me. "You bring me a present?" He responded by dropping the gift in front of me, then meowing. I sighed as I used a napkin to grab what looked like a mutilated butterfly, but as I rotated the mangled bug in my hands, I stopped. At first I had thought it was a monarch, but the pattern on the wings was wrong. They folded against the body in the wrong way, and the body itself wasn't shaped like any butterfly I knew. Yet, it still had a proboscis, almost like this was just a normal fly. Albeit one far bigger and more colorful than any house pest I've ever seen, and with a head too big and thick compared to the rest of it. That night, I woke up to the sound of digging again. I shuffled to the window and was about to move Jester so I could open it up when I stopped, deterred by a low growl coming from him. I instead pulled back a section of the curtain, what little energy I had pulsing through me at what I saw. The daughter, the husband, and all 3 children were out back. The adults used shovels while the kids did their best with trowels, all 5 digging holes of their own. Jester followed me as I prepared to go outside and confront them, cutting me off at the back door, his fur puffed up so he looked like a fluffy feather duster. I backed off and called the police again, but before they could arrive, I dozed off. I awoke in the morning with the power out, Jester sitting on me while scanning everything around him. He chirped once when he saw I was awake and took off, moving to the back door again while I got up and checked the kitchen window. No family, and now 6 holes in the backyard. I heard a shovel breaking dirt from the other side of the house. I moved to the front window and looked out, something inside me twisting as I saw 2 police officers standing outside a patrol car, holding 2 shovels taken from Duke's backyard while they worked to dig holes of their own. I smacked the window, hoping I could signal them without opening it, but they didn't look away. They just kept digging in the same robotic, tireless manner. Speaking of tireless, hello. You're gonna sing a bit again? Sassy. I moved to the second floor and looked out of each window, spotting more neighbors digging holes of their own, all shapes and sizes and varying depths. I grabbed my binoculars and focused on a house at the end of the block where I could just see a muscular neighbor hard at work. He had apparently reached the depth he wanted, so he had now started filling the hole around himself. He squatted to fit his body and angled his shovel to move the loose soil onto him, moving on far more than I'd have thought until he was just an arm above the ground. Once done, He abandoned his tool, and his remaining limbs snaked into the dirt like a worm, vanishing from sight. Something landed on the window, and Sweetie, that's just cafe music, don't worry about it. They always get jumpy whenever the music in the cafe starts playing like that. Yes. Something landed on the window, and I startled when I saw it was one of those flies, expertly posing as a monarch. Birds flitted about outside, but left the insects alone, fooled by the box masquerading as one of their poisonous brethren. I tried to make several more calls, but my connection was lost. Internet was gone with the power, and I had no idea where to find a satellite phone. I could do nothing but watch as my other neighbors buried themselves right outside their houses, more of those flies landing on the windows. Jester kept moving from room to room, checking each window in turn before restarting his rounds yet again. I found every can of bug spray I owned, and seeded them throughout the house before blanketing myself in repellent. It had to be the flies. No scratch, no scratching the legs, no. We talked about this. You may only murder people during the weekdays, not on the weekends. That's when I need my rest. Don't swat the microphone, you. Sheesh. No, she's offended again. Good grief. It had to be the flies. Then a knock on the front door. I rushed towards it and looked out the peephole to see Duke staring back at me. Or rather, it was like he was staring through me, looking at something he imagined was behind the house. His eyes didn't blink, and his body stood rigid. His chest only rose and fell when he talked. "Hey, neighbor," he said, his words slurred and uneven, parts of his face drooping as he braced himself against the door with an arm. "Let me in. I'm okay now. Everyone's okay." "What on earth's going on, Duke?" I yelled. "It's been so cold in there," he said. "Coming out, okay? It's so cold being alone. But we're all warm together." "It's just you out there, Duke," I said. "Oh, I'm never alone," he said. "We're all one big family and share alike. See?" He gestured behind him and moved to the side as his daughter stepped up, followed by her children. "Thank you so much for looking after my father," said the daughter in that same half-paralyzed slur, eyes blank and unblinking. Her head lolled to the side as if she couldn't be bothered to face him. "You must be so cold, but join us. We'll warm you right up." "What did you do to them?" I asked, hands shaking as they rested on the other side of the door. "They're warmed up," said Duke, "and now we can all grow and thrive together. You must be so cold all alone in there." A knock from the other side of the house. I rushed back to see the husband at the kitchen window, looking in with eyes other than his own. I saw a wriggle move under his neck, his own skin crawling at the thought of what was lurking in his flesh. "So cold," he slurred. "So alone. No company but a cat. You don't need a cat. We'll make it so you're never alone again." I darted back to the front door. "Leave!" I snapped. "So angry," slurred Duke. "So alone, so cold." He shook his head, then left it hanging down. "We can wait. So many new hosts to share in our warmth. to give themselves to our warmth. But we never have food, and so long as fools keep letting us in, we'll take every bit of it. Duke's neck burst from within, and out of his half-eaten insides bursts a swarm of the orange flies, rising up into the air in a tornado of putrefied filth. His body fell like an empty sack, everything within consumed except for the bare minimum needed to move and talk. I almost felt warmth through the door from the constant buzzing motion of the flies that now swarmed around my house. His daughter and her children burst as well, countless more flies joining the swarm that blocked out everything like a black, living fog. They still surround the house. I don't know how long it's been, but while my groceries are holding out for now, I won't be able to stay here indefinitely. I don't know how long these things will last as adults. It can't be forever, right? And if I found enough of a signal to share this, they must not be in complete control, right? I hope so. But every time I look outside, I see more people stumbling, digging holes, emerging later once the flies have fully taken hold. And every day, a new face comes up to the front door. You must be so cold in there. Come out, and we will warm you up. And there we go, Flies of Duke by author unknown. Bit more lengthier, but I think that was a nice one. Well, Toroxa, the artist formerly known as Cryptic Tales, we meet again, indeed. So, a bit of a side note, I did also visit Toroxa's stream on Twitch just before I started this stream. Get off my lawn, says the Lord of Nightmares. The kitties want to help with the narration. Indeed, Isabel, indeed they want to. But will they get to? I mean, yes, obviously they do. Nightmare Ronan story sneaks in from the back. Sneaky, sneaky lad. I thought that was closed. Hang on a tick. I thought the back door was closed. Lilith, check the back door. Quickly. That door. No, that's the front door, you idiot. The back door. Yeah, that one. So apparently, according to Lilith, the back door should be closed, but you know what? You're welcome still, Nightmare Ronan. Welcome. Wait a second. I'm in an apartment. I don't have a back door. Lilith, what door is that? Oh, okay, never mind. False alarm, it was the bathroom door. She likes sneaking in there for some reason. And also you came in just in time because it is time for our break for today. Indeed, it has come because we have been going on for an hour and 10 minutes. Oh Christ, who came in? Ah, Lulu. Welcome, member for 20 months. Member for 20 months, Lulu Bell. Hello, and welcome to the stream, and greetings from England indeed. Well, to you a fair greetings from Belgium. Oh. Okay, twice in a row, really? And Nightmare Ronan Stories, member for 2 months. Hello. I already said hello to you, by the way. My cat can only understand Dutch. I mean, yeah, sure, my cat as well, Lord of Nightmares, but you know, for the audience I have to do it in English, and I think they're picking up on that a bit, because they do sense a few words. Now, that said, we have been going on for an hour and 11 minutes now, so I'm 11 minutes over time with my break here, so I'm just gonna hop into a quick break and I'll be back in about 6 minutes or so. I'll see you all after my break. Alrighty, and we have returned. Well, I have returned. There's no we in this. This is a one-man YouTube channel. Alrighty, what have I missed here? Let's have a looky. Ooh, drinks indeed. And yes, Lord of Nightmares, it indeed has been this long already. Indeed, indeed. Isabel being oh so happy that there are drinks served. You are very much welcome. Lulubelle, of course, serving the drinks as she is in charge of the bar. Suburb and Siren. Anyone got a good idea for a generic horror protagonist name? That is... that is a good question. Oh, also welcome to the stream, Anime Otome. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm gonna call you Anime. It's a little shorter, it's easier for me. Welcome to the stream, Anime. Welcome, welcome. Morbid Man. Very generic. Yes, I agree. That is indeed very generic. Lulubelle. Hello, Suburban Siren. I can't think of a name right now. It's too late in the day for my tiny brain to think. I mean, I should hope so. Isn't it like almost 11 p.m. where you're at, Lulu? Judging since it is like almost midnight on my end. Everyone calls me anime, says Anime Otome. Okay, alright, good to know. Guess I'm as generic as generic Morbid Man. 10:50 p.m. Yeah, that's almost 11 p.m. There you go. I'm like, Suburban Siren says, I get that I'm like 9 hours behind people here where I am. Yes, you are. But that's alright, Siren. We forgive you. Isabel, smack that like button if you're just slithering into the stream, by all means. Yes. I love that kind of positive, aggressive attitude. I like it. Talrock said, infinite! Cindy, I left for a minute. A minute, you say? A minute. Alright, let me just pull up the chat here. When was the last time Cindy said anything? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look how long ago that was, eh? Oh my, that has not been a minute. Ooh. Of course, I take it a little too literally. Don't worry about it, Cindy. Welcome back, though. Welcome back. And while I was in my break, I found a little something to read. It is by your boy, H.P. Lovecraft, because your boy, that is me, can't get enough of the guy. And it is called The House. It's a short little poem written by Lovecraft. I'll get into that in a minute. Like, it's not as short as The Kraken by Lord Tennyson or Tennyson, whatever his name is. I don't know. It's not that short. It has at least 3 or 4 paragraphs. Yeah, it has at least 4 full paragraphs, so, you know, it's a little more than the Kraken was. Ah, yes, it's that time of year again. Bloody mosquitoes. Well, hello, my arch nemesis. You have returned. If you've been on live streams last year, you'll know that I have a deep and personal hatred towards this particular kind of insect. Missed. I'll find you, and I will smash you. Oh, that's the good grape juice. Okie dokie. Without further ado, The House by H.P. Lovecraft. 'Tis a grove-circled dwelling set close to a hill where the branches are telling strange legends of ill. Over timbers so old that they breathe of the dead, crawl the vines green and cold, by strange nourishment fed, and no man knows the juices they suck from the depths of their dank, slimy bed. in the gardens growing tall blossoms and fair, each pallid bloom throwing perfume in the air. But the afternoon sun with its shining red rays makes the picture loom dun on the curious gaze, and above the sweet scent of the blossoms rise odors of numberless days. The rank grasses are waving on terrace and lawn, dim memories savouring of things that have gone. The stones of the walks are encrusted and wet, and a strange spirit stalks when the red sun has set, and the soul of the watcher is filled with faint pictures he fain would forget. It was in the hot June time I stood by that scene, when the gold rays of noontime beat bright on the green, but I shivered with cold, groping feebly for light, as a picture unrolled, and my age-spanning sight saw the time I had been there before flash like fulgury out of the night. Like I said, a short, but still a Lovecraft one, so it's gonna be read. Mosquitoes wouldn't leave me alone, says Siren. Yeah, I get the feeling. Arch nemesis, like I said. I know the feeling. I have a crap load of mosquitoes where I live. Ah, yes. Everybody is having mosquito problems. Nice. I am not the only one. Suffer with me! The story was published 10 years after he died. Really? Wait, hang on. That should be here, right? Oh yeah, there it is. I mean, it's not really a story. It's more like a little rhyme poem that he wrote. Should still be fine, though. Copyright-wise, I think. Yeah, 1919. Yeah, I should still be fine. In that case, that copyright should not bother me. There was another one. Hang on a ticky. Oh, wait, here's one I did for TJ in the Tapes of Trepidation. Speaking of which, hang on a tick. I need to update my special mentions in the description. Just a second here. Can I actually do that while I'm live streaming? I don't think I can. Okay, no. So, okay, I need to open up a note here. Otherwise I forget. I'm a very forgetful person if you haven't noticed already. So I mentioned Lady Spookaria on the stream. There we are, Lady Spookaria. I mentioned a Vox. Or Tales from the Vox, before people are starting to think I'm befriended with Vox from Hasbin Hotel, who, by the way, I would be friends with. Tales from the Vox. He's a nice guy. And of course, who I mentioned just now. Actually, Lord of Nightmares, I'm also gonna put you on the mentions. There we go. Putting you on that. Lord of Nightmares. And of course, Tapes of Trepidation. There we go. Special mentions to be added once the stream is over. Ta-da. Have you seen season 2 of Hasbin? Of course I've seen season 2 of Hasbin. Why do you think I'm mentioning Vox here? The character, not the narrator that is Jonathan Harker and Dracula. Coffee, hey, hello! Didn't I see you in Spookaria's stream earlier today? Let's see, Coffee says, yeah, all of Lovecraft's works are free use. Well, it kind of depends, really, because sometimes a certain story is published after his death. But, you know, those are still very rare. And they're they're in a vast minority of stories. I can't remember which. I usually just look for stories that are copyright free as they are. Right, because I was one of the mods. So Coffee here is a subscriber to Lady Spookaria's and Lady Spookaria's gaming stream, who I am also a mod for myself. So yeah, hello Coffee, welcome to the stream. First time seeing you here, hope you're having a good time. Oh wait, that should be off the screen. I'm not reading you, I've already read you. Go, shoo, go away. There you go, stupid letters. Dated a girl like him, like Has-Been Fox. Coffee, do explain this. Do explain this. Lulu, Kitty getting vocal. Yes, Lulu is the first to pick up on that. Also, no problem at all, Lord of Nightmares. No problem at all. Suffer with you. You threatening us with a good time, Doc, says Isabel. Me? Threatening with a good time? Please. I'll bore you to death. And Lulu also said, I'm suffering with the high pollen count. My eyes are sore. See, I also have something with pollen. Pollen. Nothing on my eyes though, but it's just that my nose gets all sniffy. I know it looks like I don't have a nose on the screen over there, but trust me, I do have one. It still functions, and it sounds like I'm basically being nasal about it. So, you know, fun, especially doing narrations. Coffee, a little introduction. Social science student, lesbian, she-they, Irish. Ooh, Emerald Isles, eh? Dating an egotistical, hateful, abusive, narcissistic psycho. Sounds like an absolutely lovely person. Oof, hay fever season. Yes, yes indeed, hay fever season. Cindy says, I have a bad time with pollen too. Not Poland. Or Poles. Pollen. Big difference. One makes you sick, the other lives here in Europe. Hits me hard every year, right? Every year. Like, I just want to have the windows open, let the wind come in during the summer heat. But no, can't have that. Otherwise, I can't bloody breathe in here. Can't have that. No, we have to use the nasal spray so you can breathe again, Doc. Ugh, stupid doctors. One makes you sick, one you dance on, other my pal is one. Yeah, actually, that's a good, yeah. Isabel, breathing is overrated. You know what, you're right, breathing is so over... I'm just gonna hold my breath and from now on. I'm fine. So, you know what? Breathing, severely overrated, but let's keep it around for now, eh? I think that's fine for now. Ooh, where were we? Isabel, shush, don't tell the plebs, please. Shush. Overrated, but not bad. Indeed, Coffee, indeed. I'll allow air for now to be around. But once the great feeding commences, no promises. Kinda in an Edgar Allan Poe mood now, not gonna lie. Let me see. Oh, here's another one I did for Tapes of Trepidation last Halloween. Aptly named Halloween in a Suburb. Let me just... Actually, that is a fun one to read. Don't worry, we'll be going to creepypasta stories and a certain familiar Edgar Allan Poe poem later. But I am going to read this one though. This is my channel. Yes, Eve, how can I help you? What do you want? What do you want, sweetie? Nyeh. I don't know where your mother is. Check the other room. You're still staring at me, sweetie. What up? With your big old owl ears. Owl eyes. So Eve is one of the daughters of Lilith that lives here. One of the two. And she I can only describe as a very, very confused owl-faced cat. Like perpetual confusement all the time. Oh, hello. Welcome to my lab. You gonna stay here? Oh, you're gonna... Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. We just put that on the screen here. Skadoosh. Oh, that's a bit big. Little. There we go. That is better. Is it Halloween yet? No, it's not Halloween yet, Cindy, but you know what? In my house, every day is Halloween, so we're still gonna read it. Coffee. Cool, haven't felt human in over half a decade. Welcome to the club. Anime says, oh my. Siren says, it is Halloween if you stay spooky. Hey, that's how you know. Halloween is the greatest thing to come out of Ireland. Submarines are a close second. Coffee says, I would like to see the kitty. You may see the kitty. Once, you know what? I don't have actually pictures on my computer, on my laptop, for my own paranoia reasons. I have them all on my phone. But, let's make a deal here, Coffee. Shall we make a deal? I am all for deals. Isn't that right, chat? Am I not the most trustworthy person to make a little deal with? Actually, I'm going to extend the deal to anyone here that has not yet accepted it. You see, if you want to see the little kitty cats, what you have to do is visit my asylum, become a patient, and maybe I will deign to post kitty pictures in the right room. You may turn your attention to the chat while I left a invitation to the asylum. If thou'st have Discord, of course. See, isn't this the most perfect deal you'll ever have? Yes, I know, Cindy, you're already a patient. This is for the new people. Kitty pictures, that sounds so wrong. Yeah, I see. Now that you've said it and my Dutch Flemish mind comes to... Yeah, now that my Dutch Flemish mind has translated it, that doesn't sound... Thank you for that, Lord of Nightmares. Thank you for that. Oh, what do we have here? Somebody just hopped in the asylum. Oh, me, oh my. Now, who is this? Is that you, Coffee? I accept it. Yes, Cindy. I think you've been here for a while in the asylum. Coffee says, if it's my soul you want, my wife owns that. Oh, don't worry, I'm not one for souls, I'm one for favors. I love favors oh so much more. Oh, another one. Do let me know what your Discord's names are, just so that I know what the appropriate role is, because I have 2 different roles for creators and for casual fans. Dr. Udo will set you straight. Or Professor Udo, excuse me. Oh, both of you, eh? Udo, if you're in the stream, we have 2 new patients. Please assign the right roles. And if you are not watching the stream, fine. I'll do it myself. Here we are. Oopsie daisy. Please, everybody, contain thine excitement. There we are, 2 new patients, full access to the Discord. Welcome. And now, without further ado, to celebrate Halloween in a suburb, in honor of upcoming, as Lord of Nightmares calls it, Summerween. That still sounds so wrong in English, though. The steeples are white in the wild moonlight, and the trees have a silver glare. Past the chimneys high see the vampires fly, and the harpies of upper air that flutter and laugh and stare. For the village dead to the moon outspread never shone in the sunset's gleam, but grew out of the deep that the dead years keep, where the rivers of madness stream down the gulfs to a pit of dream. A chill wind weaves through the rows of sheaves in the meadows that shimmer pale, and comes to twine where the headstones shine and the ghouls of the churchyard wail for harvests that fly and fail. Not a breath of the strange grey gods of change that tore from the past of its own that can quicken this hour, when a special power spreads sleep o'er the cosmic throne and looses the vast unknown. So here again stretch the vale and plain that moons long forgotten saw, and the dead leap gay in the pallid ray, sprung out of the tomb's black moor, to shake all the world with awe. And all the morn shall greet forlorn the ugliness and the pest of rows where thick rise the stones and brick, shall someday be with the rest, and brood with the shades unblessed. Then wild in the dark let the lemurs bark, and the leprous spires ascend, for new and old alike in the fold of horror and death are penned, for the hounds of time to rend. There we go, Halloween in a suburb. Ooh. Been a while since I did that one. Still got that verve in there a bit. I like it. Let's see. Critter Halls is where the kitty pictures go. That's for after the stream, though. Don't you worry about that. That's what after the stream there shall be kitty pics galore. I think there's one already that I posted in January. It's just a little bit of a scroll up, but you can see Eve peeking out of the blanket. She likes to crawl under there. She's basically the void with 2 yellow eyes. Lord of Nightmares. I'm currently working on a creepypasta about an asylum. I visited one a few weeks ago in Antwerp. Really? An abandoned one or one that's still functioning? I'm going to guess abandoned one since, you know, creepypasta reasons, but... yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if it's also still a functioning one, considering how Belgium just operates on stuff from the Victorian era, including the laws. But let's not delve into that. Like, poor Spookaria. I remember one of the first times I was on a stream with her, that I was basically ranting about Belgium having 6 governments. Ay, ay, ay. It was a fun stream, don't get me wrong. We had our laughs in, but I was just so upset with the fact that we had 6 governments. Like, I had to tell the world how stupid we are. A renovated one. So they still have a lot of patience. Oh, a renovated one. I think I know which one that is. I've quite forgotten the name, but it's been in the news a few years ago. Yes, Coffee. We have 6 governments. Or 5. I have to... let me see if I can recall them all. So we have the Flemish government, which is for the Flemish part of Belgium, where I'm from. Then we have the Walloon government, which is for the French-speaking part in Belgium, and that's also the part the whole world thinks that we speak French, but no, we also speak Dutch in the north. See, there's the East Canton government, which is basically the German-speaking part of Belgium, but you know what? That's not even a province. That's more of a region in a French province. Well, French in the French-speaking part of Belgium. There's a little East Canton region where they speak German. They're not even a province, but they have their own government. Don't ask me why. Please don't ask me why. Then there is the Brussels government, because, you know, our own capital needs its own government to run, and it's an absolute... well, there are no nice words to say about how our capital looks once you go past a certain street, but Spanian made a very, very illuminating video on that. Please have a look on that, and you'll see why I'm not very fond of Belgium as a country. Let me see, I want to say that there's the federal government, which is basically everything, which basically handles everything. I'm pretty sure there's another government, but I might have been mistaken, and we might have just have 5 governments. Oh, hang on a tick. I actually have to look this one up, like, it's been a while since I talked about this. Let's see. So yes, we have the Flemish government, the government of the French community, oh yeah, I forgot. My mistake. I forgot. So the French-speaking part of Belgium basically has 2 governments. Like we have I'm gonna run them all down again. So we have the government of Brussels, the government of the German-speaking East Cantons, the Flemish government, the federal government, who handles the national matters like defense and justice and all such. But then we have the Walloon government, which manages the regional matters in Wallonia, the south part of Belgium, where everybody speaks French. And of course, then we have the government of the French community. Which, yeah, again, I have no words. I'm not going into that too much, of course. I have a rule about political ramblings and all that, but... and you just look that up, and... oof. It hurts, man. It hurts. Like, they each have their own prime minister. Just so you know, so Belgium effectively has 6 prime ministers, with the federal one, of course, being on top of things, but still, man. Still. It hurts so much, and my taxes feel that as well. Whoops. Almost got into a political rambling. Anime. Well, that doesn't sound confusing at all. Depends who you ask. It's really, really confusing to me. And I'm Belgian. It's confusing to us. Coffee says, we have a president, but she doesn't run the country. Yeah, to us, it's the opposite. We have a prime minister that runs the country, but no government that wants to run the country. Or, you know, governments. Dublin Island 2 just sucks. Lord of Nightmare says, we used to have more, but the Flemish part got merged. Indeed. Wait, hang on. Lord of Nightmares, I'm a little confused. I thought you were Dutch. Was I wrong? Are you... Wait, hang on. Is my memory once again is my memory being an asshole again? I think my memory is being an asshole again. Isabel, falling down the rabbit hole, Doc. Indeed, yes, I am. Anime says, that would be a heck of a deep dive. This is, you know what? Yes, it actually would be. Coffee also says, in Ireland it works mostly. It's just really confusing. Really, is it as confusing as having 6 bloody governments? The Lord of Nightmares, no, haha, I'm Flemish. Ah. Nou, dat wist ik niet. Welkom, mede-Vlaming. Chat's gonna be crazy that I'm not speaking English now. There's the government of the Republic of Ireland, but there's a specific structure of the government called the government. Oh god, that already sounds confusing. Outside of the government is the president and the courts. Oh, we get the entire... we're going to get the entire structure of the Ireland governments now here. Alright, I'll wait. This sounds interesting. This actually is interesting, though. Let's not get into political ideas, but I am interested how government structures are made up in other countries. Maybe because I'm envious that you don't have as much. It can't be more confusing than 7 levels of hell, just saying, says Isabel. Well, I don't know, Isabel. You know, the 7 levels of hell kinda, you know, they're named after their own particular sin, so, you know, it's kinda easier to pinpoint what's going on there. I only sound kinda Dutch in my videos, like 2/3 of my viewers are from the Netherlands. You know what, that's fair. That is fair. I mean, I imagine, because, you know, here's the thing, I can't see Flemish people or Belgian people in general. I don't really see them coming to YouTube listening to horror stories, so it kind of makes sense that most of the viewers then come from the Netherlands. Nightmare Ronan. I live in the 7 levels of hell. I call it the USA. Yeah, sure. Not gonna go into that whale. I'm not gonna go poke at that orange whale. Yet. The president makes policies and laws, the government validates and decides whether to put up the vote or deny them depending on the eternal vote. Yeah, fine. Isabel, be right back, I need some grape juice as well. Well, you are going to do that, Isabel. Let me go ahead and look over at my story catalog. I do have one, right? Ah, yes, here we are. Actually, let me put the live stream on a different screen so I can still read the chat while I'm doing this. There we are, that's more fun. Best not to poke this, the orange whale unless you want to get CGL. Not sure what that is. Maybe I'm too old, but I don't know what CGL is. Or maybe I did and my memory is once again playing the asshole. Coffee and the courts have different levels from regions to county to province to republic, and they eternal government hold decides who is in the court. Community. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Ronan. I think, Ronan, I was a little confused because I do believe that's more of an USA thing, and my poor European brain cannot really handle USA terms or happenings. But that's on me, though. That's just on me. Excuse me, laptop. I asked you to do something. Do it. Oh, here's a nice short one, I think. Yeah, nice short one. And it's a new one, too. At least it's on the new page. Alright, good. Let's put that in. Oh, over here. There we go. And then after this one, I'm going to need another break. Because I do need to keep on time with the breaks, though. Let's see. Oh, that is a misspell. We don't want to see that. I'm an educated person, don't you know? Oh, no, that's still misspelled. God damn. No, not that. There you go. That's a good laptop. Just do as you're told. So, putting on screen right now our next reading. It is called Void Tendrils by author unknown. So I have no idea who wrote this. By all means, if you know the author, do let me know so I can give credit where credit is due. Orange whale. I like that, says Cindy. Well, basically Orange Jabba the Hutt, but, you know, as Ronan says, let's skip that. Anime. It's kind of refreshing how we all have a similar feeling about our governments. Indeed. Anime also says, sweet talking my PC never works. Have to yell at it. Yeah, see, I don't yell at my laptop. I just give it like these little caresses to the side of the screen, and I'm going like, it's alright. You can fail once or twice, but not a third time, because you are expendable. Don't tell it, but it's not expendable, of course. Cindy, sorry, I was in the kitchen and I came back to that. Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy. It's okay, Cindy, we are ending that kind of talk. Yes, we are. But I can tolerate talks about a government or government structures. Just let's not say political parties or stances or something like that. I cannot handle. That gets a little too fanatical. Not on my end. I'm as apolitical as it gets. But I do understand that in other parts of the world, politics can be rather fanatical doctrines. Oh, that's a good grape juice. Alrighty, but with that said, Void Tendrils by author unknown. I was walking and saw an old laptop in a yard sale. It was only 13 bucks, and I bought it. When I opened the laptop, I saw there was none of the normal apps like Finder, Google, or stuff like that. By the way, just a little pause here. What the hell is Finder? I have no idea what this is. Is this like Google? I don't know. Anyone, please enlighten me. I will read the comment later. Let's see, it had none of the normal apps like Finder, Google, or stuff like that. Just Hollow Knight. Well, that's a good game. I love Hollow Knight, so I decided to play it. The last time I played Hollow Knight was 5 years ago, and I accidentally dropped my laptop down the stairs so I couldn't play it anymore. But now I can. When I entered the game, it seemed like the normal Hollow Knight. But here's the thing. I couldn't leave the game. I thought, whatever. After all, that was the only app on the laptop. I pressed start, and there was only one file slot. I pressed it, and it showed the knight falling from the howling cliffs into King's Pass. It looked normal, except one thing. The knight had red eyes. I dismissed it merely as a glitch, but I noticed something else. There were no enemies in the King's Pass. When I reached Dirtmouth, I saw Elderbug, but he was a gory corpse. I interacted with him, and the most horrifying thing ever happened. The knight ate the corpse. His shell cracked. I was horrified, but still weirdly compelled to keep moving. When I went into the Forgotten Crossroads, I finally saw a few enemies and killed them, but whenever I killed them, the knight eats them. And it seems his mask cracks a tiny bit whenever he eats an enemy. And when I went into Crystal Peak, the place where Myla, a cheerful miner who is singing, is usually, was empty. The message, "But nobody came," appeared in a dialogue box. Still, I could faintly hear a distorted version of her song. Also, quick pause here, "but nobody came." If there are any Undertale fans in the chat, you know what that means. Alright, returning. Also, I noticed that the shortcut to the False Knights Arena, a place that usually should be locked and you have to use the long way to the arena to unlock it, was open. I went through, mildly confused, and I went through the False Knights Arena, and there was rumbling from the ceiling. I was preparing for a fight, but the rumbling stopped, and there was the message, "But nobody came," again. I was absolutely horrified. I kept going into Green Path, but it didn't give the vibe it usually gives. It looked like a bit more greyish red. And also, the enemies started to run from the knight. And I killed a few enemies, and the knight ate them too. When I went to Hornet's arena, Hornet was there, insanely angry, and had a really hard fight. It was as hard as the Hornet Sentinel fight in the actual Hollow Knight. I was pretty sure this didn't happen in the real Hollow Knight, though. When I beat her, it showed her screaming in agony, and there was a new button called Possess. And then I clicked it, and suddenly void tendrils came from the night. They constricted Hornet, and she screamed, and it sounded like it actually happened in real life. The screen turned black. It then showed Hornet on the ground, on her knees. She then stood up, and her eyes started glowing red, and void tendrils were coming from her. The thing that scared me the most There we are. The thing that scared me the most was that the night's shell was breaking and void tendrils were coming from them. Their eye holes were fusing. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my chest, but yet I felt the urge to keep going. There were no enemies in the fungal wastes, just a bunch of corpses that the night automatically ate. The Mantis village was also deserted, and in the Mantis Lord's arena, it said again, but nobody came. This was getting super creepy. On the road to the City of Tears, I saw a silhouette. It was none other than Quirrell, and he had gotten insanely mad and attacked, and the fight was harder than hornets. And the same thing happened. The knight possessed Quirrell, and he went crazy. The scream was even more blood-curdling than hornets. The knight's eye holes had completely fused, and there was a small red eye in his single eye hole. Another horrifying thing was that the UI had changed a lot. The masks were just black blobs with a red eye in each of them. In the City of Tears, there were a bunch of enemies, and I didn't want to attack them, but the night attacked on its own. I was horrified completely. Also, a bunch of places were glitched and I couldn't go there. It seemed like a dystopia. The rest of the game was like that. In the resting grounds, where there was supposed to be the Dream Nail, instead was something called the Dream Eater. And I went to each of the dreamers, but when I went into the dream, the knight walked towards the dreamer and ate them. And there was a blood-curdling scream. I felt a very sharp pain every time that happened. By the time I was in the Black Egg, the knight had turned into an abomination made of a void with one giant red eye and void tendrils coming from them. All the masks were hyper-realistic blobs with a teeth-filled mouth. Is it not tooth-filled mouth? Anyway, when going through the Black Egg, I encountered Grim, and he claimed he can't afford to ignore. The knight and I had to do an insanely hard fight against him, who transformed into Inferno King Grim, and then the Nightmare Heart appeared. I was now 100% sure this was some sort of mod or something, since Inferno King Grim is definitely not in the games and is a mod boss. When I beat him, I didn't even click the button possess. The knight trapped him in a bunch of void tendrils, and the Nightmare Heart turned black. Grim turned into a crazy void creature, and his cloak turned into void tendrils. He shrieked, and the screen turned black. It said, "I'll kill you," and the screen went back to the Black Egg. Grim had disappeared. I went to the final room, and it turned into a cutscene. I saw the Hollow Knight on the floor, crying void. The knight used the Dream Eater on him and went into the room with the radiance, and the knight turned away from the screen, and it turned black, and I heard a realistic sound of devouring. Suddenly, it switched to a scene of the whole of Hallownest empty and glitched. It showed a black screen and said, "Be gone." It showed in the Radiance's room the knight facing the screen. Suddenly, he literally, and I mean literally, came out of the screen and devoured me. And there we have Void Tendrils by Author Unknown. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little surprised as I was reading the story, because I was reading it on a glance when I found it, right? And I did find the Hollow Knight references and such, but yeah, again, got a little surprised there a few times. Not sure about the ending though. So basically, that the night devoured the player. Who is writing the story then? If the narrator is eaten. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but it's still a good one, don't get me wrong. Just that the ending is a little bit confusing on that end. But hey, if it works, it works. Coffee says, Finder is the default file manager and graphical user interface on Mac OS, allowing users to browse and organize and open files, folders, and applications as described by Apple support. Ah, it's an Apple thing. No wonder I don't know what the hell it is. Coffee says, my wife loves this game. It's a good game. Highly recommend it to anyone, especially now that the second game is out. Play them on to back, like 1 and 2. Play them. It's fantastic. Isabel, devouring is never bad. Well, that depends on the context, really. One is never sure when one should bite. But with that said, I'm going to take in my break once more. I'll be back in a few. Don't worry, don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back, and then we will continue on with the live stream. See you all in a little bit. And I have returned once more. And I forgot to fill in my fermented grape juice. Just a sec. I should have done this during the break. But enjoy the sloshing around. Ah, beautiful sound. There we are. Nice and closed. So then, where were we? Ah, the chat. Isabel says, sharpens knives for Doc while he's taking his break. Thank you for that. I've been letting them get dull all the time. Suburban Siren says, what is a name that as soon as you hear it in a horror story you go, he's definitely going to die? Lilith? No. Lilith? Alright, no then. Kitty Chaos is a real thing in these parts. Oh, where's this coming from, Coffee? Its eyes face forward just like ours do, giving it binocular vision. Meaning if a T-Rex is looking at you, it's looking at you. Okay, yeah, sure, where's that coming from? Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Isabel says to Suburban, anyone named after a car or a town. Yeah, actually, sure. Oh, Lilith definitely has some suggestions. I'm just not translating it for the stream because, you know, none of them are child-friendly. This is a child-friendly channel after all. I wouldn't want YouTube to be disappointed in me. Do I now? Ah, that's some good grape juice. Let's see. Unfortunately, I'm not going to keep it on for a full hour. I'll do it as long as I can for this last stretch. Don't you worry. But I am getting a little fatigued. Like I said, I had a long day. I was at the Asian market today. I had to socialize so many people. So, you know, my battery is already a little bit drained. But depending how much fun I have, by all means, I'm gonna keep stretching it. And I do have some fun. I mean, whatever you say, Doc. Passive-aggressive smiley face. Okay then, Isabel. Lilith. Lilith, no, I'm not gonna translate that. No. No, that's just nasty. I can't say that. Not on the live stream, at least. Cats. Am I right? Am I right? Cats. What was I about to do? Oh, right. Didn't I write a poem recently that is inspired by Maurice Ogden's The Hangman? I think I did. Yes, I did. I did, didn't I? Yes, I did. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Like, it's far from finished. Don't get me wrong. It's certainly not finished. Or at least not to the specs that I wanted finished, but I still should have it somewhere. Where the hell did I put it? Huh. Themes of Torment. No, it's not that one. Did I put it in the song folder? Oh yes, just for the uninitiated. Sometimes I write lyrics. There you go. Sometimes I write lyrics for songs and such. Oh no, not this one. No. That one should never see the light of day. You go away. No, seriously, where the hell did I put it? Ah, there we are. Aye, that should be it. 3 nice pages, so it's a bit long, which is the idea. Let's see, the come here title. I'm trying to put you on the screen. Work with me, or else I will be angry. There we are. See, was it so hard? No, it wasn't. So yes, I'll be reading one of my own little poems now. There we go. Put it on screen. Should be on it. Oh, look at that. Just about the right size. Excellent. Most excellent. So recently I've also read parts of this poem, but it's now 3 pages long, so I consider it done. Perhaps with some more tweaking here and there. But we'll see how it goes. Cindy says, gonna have to leave in a few. Well, that's alright, Cindy. If you have to leave, you have to leave. Oh, lots of things were said in the chat here. Hang on a sec, I need to catch up. So, Siren, why don't you go outside? There are people out there. Yeah, that's exactly why I stay inside. There are people out there. Lulu says, oops, I forgot to serve the drinks. Well, Lulu, you had one job. Lulu says, I was testing the beverages. Isabel says they are yummy. Lulu says, I like that title. Thank you. Thank you, Lulu. And now, without further ado, The Fear We Fed. Written by yours truly, and it is about yours truly. You can consider this an in-law poem. So there you go. Have fun with that. If I ever make a video out of this, this will be for members only and patrons only. Just a heads up. So this might be one of the last times you'll ever hear it as it is, instead of in its own standalone video form. But we're not here or there. I have still enough on my plate right now to work on. And here we go. They said he came at eventide, when lamps were lit and doors were tied. A courteous figure, tall and spare, who asked a room and offered care. No herald rode, no warning bell, no storm announced his soft farewell. To distant roads he'd walked before, he simply stood at someone's door. He bowed his head with measured grace, a pallid calm came upon his face, and though his eyes were faintly green, he seemed the least unkindly seen. I seek no tribute, coin, or throne, I travel not to rule alone. I only ask you let me stay, and keep your lesser fears at bay. The council murmured, Wade agreed. A watchful guest is good indeed. If peace he brings, then let him dwell. Our town has known unrest too well. So he came, and none could say what small unease first slipped away. For crimes grew rare and tempers mild, and even night seemed reconciled. A drunkard missing caused no stir. No kin, they said, to speak for her. A thief was gone, a brawler too. The world is cleaner, some men knew. And when a beggar was not found, no searchers combed the wooded ground. They slept more soundly, bolts drawn tight, content with order, bought by night. He never threatened, never cried, no blade was shown, no blood descried. He only listened when they spoke of private fears they dared not evoke. To one he whispered, calm and slow, the neighbor harbored secrets woe. Best keep your distance, bar your gate, some dangers ripen if you wait. to one he said, "Your friend may fall, I hear unrest within his call." And thus suspicion, gently sown, took root in hearts not yet his own. Each man believed himself secure, and he remained observant, pure. Yet each small silent, each excuse, gave quiet permission to abuse. He walked at dusk beside their street, and none would rise his path to meet. For though they feared, they reasoned still that others bore the greater ill. The baker thought, "I must provide. If I protest, my children slide." The priest declared, "I counsel prayer. I cannot challenge what I fear." The guard, convinced his oath was kept, so long as nightly hours he swept. The mayor signed decrees with care, and told himself the acts were fair. One morning bells were left unrung, the sexton gone, no notice hung. They glanced and quickly looked away, and found much else to fill the day. By now his shadow seemed to blend with every alley, every friend, not seen yet felt in pause and breath, in every cautious word of death. He asked no loyalty aloud, yet deference gathered like a shroud. They chose compliance bit by bit, and called it peace, and settled it. At last I stood outside his room, aware of what had sealed our doom. No crowd remained to stand beside, each soul had turned, each neighbor hide. I said, "Why take us one by one? What victory have you truly won?" He answered, not with rage or threat, but with a patience colder yet. "I claim no souls that are not mine. I build no cage, design no shrine. I offer only what you start, the smaller tyrant in the heart. For fear seeks comfort, not the right. It trades the stranger for the night. You fed me well with each excuse, with every tolerated abuse." He raised no chain, he barred no way, no force compelled me here to stay. He waited, he only waited, still and sure, for my own will to make it pure. I saw then plainly, stark and grim, no town had ever yielded to him. He merely followed calm and slow, where human choices chose to go. And so I stood with none to call, no righteous voice remained at all. For monsters do not storm the gate, they enter when good men hesitate. And there we go, the fear we fed by yours truly. Okay. Again, I don't consider this a poem that is finished. I still want to tweak on it a little bit, maybe add a paragraph here and there. But for what it is for now as a demonstration, I think it's good enough. Hello, Lone Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. How have you been? To those not in the know, Lone Wolf is also a fellow horror creator. I'm gonna put you in my list of special mentions to this video, Lone Wolf. There we go. He is also currently producing The Invisible Man, of which yours truly is playing the titular character, and is also joined by a very, very talented cast. If you haven't seen his work, by all means, go over to Lone Wolf's channel after the stream, have a look at The Invisible Man and some other projects that he is working on. And thank you, Lord of Nightmares. Yes, thank you. Like I said, it's inspired by the Hangman of Maurice Ogden. As a comparison, I will read that poem next. It is one of my favorite poems, though, I will say that again. I've always said that. Actually, let me pull that up right there. Because I've always said, with the Hangman of Maurice Ogden, it is a very, very fitting poem nowadays. Hello, Lilith. Do you have something to say? Really? All three of them? Huh. I didn't know that. Really? Yes. All of them, sweetie, are you sure? Aye? But are you sure or not? Alright, welcome. Hello, welcome to my lap. This is the live stream. Hello, say hello to the lovely people if you will. Don't boop the microphone, please. The microphone has done nothing wrong, sweetie. Please don't do that. That's annoying. I don't know what beef you have with the microphone, but it stops now. Okay, what was I? What was I about to do? Oh, right. Hangman, Maurice Ogden. Right. Okay, let me just put it on screen and I will be on that in a minute. Ooh, Lilith. Look, sweetie, are you going to stay on the lap or not? Don't boop the microphone. I told you just now, sweetie, don't. Don't boop the microphone. We all need... Well, I need the microphone. It's literally my second most important tool next to my voice. Please don't. Whoop. By Maurice Ogden. Skadoosh. There we are. Alright, back to the chat. You're welcome for the shout out, Longwolf. It's no problem at all. Yes, she's indeed a talkative little bugger, Isabel. She indeed is. I think something is wrong with my notifications, though. I haven't gotten anything in 2 days, says Lone Wolf. Which notifications? YouTube? Or email? Because I don't know if you know, but I did send in my lines for part 4 of The Invisible Man, by the way. Like, I'm not entirely sure which notifications it is. Like, probably YouTube, because you... Lilith. Because YouTube notifications is also a little wonky on my end. Like, there are so many people that I'm subscribed to and that I actually have the bell icon clicked on, so I get the notifications if they upload something. Just doesn't come through. Not at all. Not once. And then I'm actually surprised when I see that video uploaded like 2 weeks ago. I'm just sitting here like, I should have gotten a ping about that. Yeah, not any notifications of videos or live streams. Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. Indeed, Wolf, indeed. Gonna lock in a little bit, and now I'll be reading The Hangman by Maurice Ogden. Again, one of my most precious poems. This is probably the 3rd or 4th time that I'm reading it. Will not be the last poem of the live stream. After this, we'll be hanging out a little bit. And then comes the last poem, which will be The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, another personal favorite. Alright then, without further ado, let us begin. Into our town the hangman came, smelling of gold and blood and flame, and he paced our bricks with a diffident air, and built his frame on the courthouse square. The scaffold stood by the courthouse side, only as wide as the door was wide, a frame as tall or little more than the capping sill of the courthouse door. And we wondered whenever we had the time, who the criminal, what the crime, the hangman judged with the yellow twist of knotted hemp in his busy fist. Ouch, ouchies, ouchies, nails, nails, no, don't. And innocent though we were, with dread, we passed those eyes of buckshot lead, till one cried, Hangman, who is he for whom you raised the gallows trees? Then a twinkle grew in the buckshot eye, and he gave us a riddle instead of reply. "He who serves me best," said he, "shall earn the rope on the gallows tree." And he stepped down and laid his hand on a man who came from another land, and we breathed again for another's grief. At the hangman's hand was our relief. And the gallows frame on the courthouse lawn by tomorrow's sun shall be struck and gone. So we gave him way, and no one spoke, out of respect for his hangman's cloak. The next day's sun looked mildly down on roof and street in our quiet town, and stark and black in the morning air, the gallows tree on the courthouse square. And the hangman stood at his usual stand with the yellow hemp in his busy hand, and with his buckshot eye and his jaw like a pike, and his air so knowing and busy and businesslike. And we cried, "Hangman, have you not done yesterday with the alien one?" Then we fell silent and stood amazed. Oh, not for him was the gallows raised. He laughed a laugh as he looked at us. "Did you think I'd gone to all this fuss to hang one man? That's a thing I do, to stretch the rope when the rope is new." Then one cried, "Murderer!" One cried, "Shame!" And into our midst the hangman came to that man's place. "Do you hold," said he, "with him that's meant for the gallows tree?" And he laid his hand on that one's arm, and we shrank back in quick alarm, and we gave him way, and no one spoke out of fear of his hangman's cloak. That night we saw with dread surprise the hangman's scaffold had grown in size. Fed by the blood beneath the chute, the gallows tree had taken root. Now as wide or a little more than the steps that led to the courthouse door, as tall as the riving, or nearly as tall, halfway up on the courthouse wall. The third he took, and we all heard tell, was a usherer and infidel. "And what," said the hangman, "have you to do with the gallows bound, and he a Jew?" And we cried out, "Is this one he who has served you well and faithfully?" The hangman smiled. "It's a clever scheme to try the strength of the gallows beam." The fourth man's dark, accusing song had scratched out comfort hard and long. "And what concern," he gave us back, "have you for the doomed and black?" The fifth, the sixth, and we cried again, "Hangman, hangman, is this the man?" "It's a trick," he said, "that we hangmen know, for easing the trap when the trap springs slow." And so we ceased and asked no more, as the hangman tallied his bloody score, and sun by sun and night by night, the gallows grew to monstrous height. The wings of the scaffold opened wide, till they covered the square from side to side, and the monster crossbeam, looking down, casts its shadow across the town. Then through the town the hangman came, and called in the empty streets my name. And I looked at the gallows soaring tall and thought, there's no one left at all for hanging, and so he calls to me to help him pull down the gallows tree. And I went out with right good hope to the hangman's tree and the hangman's rope. He smiled at me as I came down to the courthouse square through the silent town, and supple and stretched in his busy hand was the yellow twist of the hempen strand. And he whistled his tune as he tried as he tried to trap, and it sprang down with a ready snap. And then, with a smile of awful command, he laid his hand upon my hand. "You tricked me, Hangman," I shouted then, "that your scaffold was built for other men, and I no henchman of yours," I cried. "You lied to me, Hangman, foully lied." Then a twinkle grew in the buckshot eye. "Lied to you, tricked you," he said. "Not I. For I answered straight, and I told you true. The scaffold was raised for none but you. For who has served me more faithfully than you with your coward's hope," said he. "And where are the others that might have stood side by your side in the common good?" "Dead," I whispered, "and amiably murdered," the hangman corrected me. "First the alien, then the Jew. I did no more than you let me do." Beneath the beam that blocked the sky, none had stood so alone as I, and the hangman strapped me, and no voice there cried, "Stay!" for me in the empty square. And there we have it, Maurice Ogden's The Hangman, an obvious inspiration for my own poem. Of course, I have not lied about that, I said that before. As I said, it's one of my favorite poems. I'm not gonna apologize for that. I still think it's a very relevant poem nowadays. Very, very relevant, especially the message which it conveys. Hey, that rhymed. Getting in that rhyming mood again. Isabel. Ooh, I like that one. I thought you would. I really thought you would. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy, what's that? What's that noise? Oh my, Isabel, you have become a channel member. Welcome. You are now a demented, no less. Well, thank you very much for your support, Isabel. I will try not to disappoint, and if I do give me a heads up. Now, on to Discord, and let me change your role there, because that is necessary. Oh, wait, which one? Oh, no, wait, hang on. I can do that. I can do this. Hold on, hang on a tick. I can find you. Where are you? There you are. And with that said, Isabel, you should now have access to the Patreon and channel member only part of the Discord. See it as an extension. Have fun. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you very much. Again, I've maybe read this poem like 3 or 4 times already on the channel. I'm gonna dim it down from now on, don't you worry. But again, it's one of my most favorite poems. Oh lord, what's all happening here? There we are. Lots of stuff's happening. Just looking over the Discord. Apparently everybody's being very chatty today. What the hell, Ish? Oh god. If you're in the Discord and you look at the art conservatory, Isha made wonderful art of me right there, I think. The hell is this, Isha? Like, it looks like an alien, but obviously, I think she tried to make DrTorment 3D, or what that is. I do not know. It is terrifying. That is terrifying. Oh lord, oh Lou. I'm not gonna share it on the screen. You'll have to be on it. It's a Discord only event, I'm afraid. Haha. Shameless, shameless Discord promotion, I know. That said, we are nearing the end of the stream. Look at that, I have actually pulled out a full hour after all, almost. Well then, I am a man of my word. So the final reading shall be Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. I should have it here. There we are. Ah, there it is. Now, don't you worry, I'm not going to start reading it right away, because reading and finishing that would mean the end of the stream. Let's give it a few more minutes, shall we? Again, Isabel, thank you so much for your support. Siren, I don't know if you're still in the stream, but that one is for you, since you did request it or mentioned it somewhere at the start of the stream. No, I don't want that. No, stop doing that, YouTube. Ah, there you are. Hello, Siren. Wasn't fully aware if you were still here or not, but there you are. Hello. Well. So do tell. For Lone Wolf, I actually have a question. After the Invisible Man, what are the plans then? Like, kitty cats, please. I'm trying to have a nice live stream here. Like I said, Lone Wolf, if you have any future plans you're willing to share with us, do indulge. The stage is all yours. We're waiting for you. No pressure. I'm kidding. There's a lot of pressure right now on you. Type as quick as you can. We don't have all day. If Lone Wolf is still here, of course. I don't know. Isabel, the kitties are making their own plans by the sound of things. Yes. Yes, they are. They are indeed making their own plans. Oh, that reminds me, Isabel, now that you're actually a channel member, you should have access to, for the moment, free exclusive videos, which are basically soundtracks for the DrTorment universe. I've taken some rudimentary steps actually writing that up. And like I said, I have a busy schedule, I can't always do that, but by all means, enjoy. Oh, there's Lone Wolf. Hello. No pressure. Lone Wolf says, it's a biggie, but I'm planning on putting out the 3 iconic monsters of the Universal this year. The Invisible Man now, Frankenstein in the summer, and Dracula in the fall leading up to Halloween. And yes, I'm still here, lol. Yeah, sorry for that, Lone Wolf. I didn't mean to put you under any pressure or something. Psych, I really did mean to do that. Dracula in the fall leading up to Halloween. Good luck with that one. I really do. I mean, to be fair, we do have different approaches on how we work, though. I prefer individual chapters and put a lot of background stuff in it, imagery, yada yada, which is honestly tiresome to work with, I'll be honest, but I like doing it still. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to your rendition, Lone Wolf. I really am, especially to Frankenstein. The movie has me all hyped up, actually, to see more Frankenstein content, to be fair. Ooh, I will have to check. I'm always interested in what you are doing, Doc. Well, thank you very much, Isabel. Thank you very much. I too am always looking forward into what I'm doing. Usually I don't really know what I'm doing 5 minutes from now. Anime, wow, Wolfie, that sounds great. It is great. It really is. He did a fantastic job with Jekyll and Hyde too. Like, I had a minor role in it, I believe, but again, it was a stellar cast. Great, great voice actors all around, and a marvelous production. Wolf says, I'm especially excited about it as I went to Epic Universe yesterday for my birthday and saw the monster section of the park with the 6 Universal monsters. It was your birthday? You never let us know? I mean, happy belated birthday, Lone Wolf. Really? Wow, okay. Hang on, let me get the pie out at least. Let me get the cake out here. Happy birthday indeed. Oh, he's a jolly good puppy. Oh, he's a jolly good puppy. Oh, he's a jolly good puppy. And here are all the cakes. There you go. Spontaneity is the best form of creation. That I agree with, Isabel. Oh, that's some good fermented grape juice. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I forgot to mention it. Yeah, you think? Well then, the next reading shall be for Siren and Lone Wolf then. Once again, happy birthday, my man. Let me just put it on the screen. There we are. Another channel favorite. I've already made a standalone video of this one. For those that are interested, I should have a... Edgar Allan Poe should have his own playlist on the channel, I believe. Yes, it has. Yes, he has. Full of his poems, and I think at least one short story, The Oval Portrait. That was... Oh, my god, The Oval Portrait. Now that was a challenge. Like a lot of... Even back in Poe's time, I consider that archaic kind of writing. But it was still fun to work with. But instead of The Oval Portrait, I will be reading, lastly for today, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Not yet, though. Just gonna take another sip. Oh, beautiful. Okay, where is it? Where did I put the thing? There we are. Yeah, there it is. Alright then, let us begin. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." And distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished a morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, Truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. And the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore? This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Hang on, take what other cat's doing. Sorry for that. Kitty chaos in the background. I'm gonna try to ignore that from now on. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then, what there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, and with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not the minute stopped or stayed he. But, with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and said, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though it answered little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust upon his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself into linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, with this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking nevermore. This I said engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl, whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent me, respite, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, where the tempest send or where the tempest toss thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarted. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that flies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. There we go, Edgar Allan's Poe, The Raven. Well, I always get into it when I get into that poem. I always get a little into that. That deserves another sip. Also, yes, Lulu, it has indeed been a very long time since I read The Raven. I think it's actually been a few months now, right? I think it's been a few times. Yeah, it's been a few months. Always a good one, says Siren. Indeed it is. Can't go wrong with a classic. Lone Wolf says, a classic poem. I feel that was Edgar's most iconic poem. It actually is. I think it's one of those poems that basically elevated him into being popular after his demise, unfortunately. It's the truth of any artist. You only get recognized after your passing. But that is one of the most prolific poems that came out, that was used over and over again until we all loved it. So Lone Wolf, you were not here when I said this, but my first exposure to Edgar Allan Poe and The Raven was basically that one Simpsons episode from decades ago. It's beautiful. I also love the Vincent Price reading. Yes, the Vincent Price reading and the Christopher Lee reading, lest we forget. The man had a powerful voice. Perfect for Poe poetry. Get it? Poe poetry? Oh, don't worry about that, Isabel, because we have also gotten to the end of our stream. I know, unfortunately, I do have to go. I have things to do, like sleeping, and then something else called more sleeping. Love doing that. In any case, oh wait, first this. Lone Wolf Stories. I know the Christopher Lee reading. He read The Raven and Jekyll and Hyde and listened to him when I covered those stories. See? Excellent. See what I mean? Can't get rid of Christopher Lee. There you go. Lulu 2, time for my sleep. Alright. Have a good night, Isabel. Cindy also see you. Well then, that's it for the stream, I guess. I bid you all a very lovely goodwill. Always remember, in tenebris veritas. I will see you all in the next session. Please don't forget that I also have a merch store, so if you want some merch, have a look over in the link in the description. And then I'll see you in the next section, in the next session. Section. I don't have a section to this. I have sessions. In any case, a very good night. Adieu.